So, after releasing their follow-up album to Soldiers of the Night, which is of course was Digital Dictator, which really showed the band coming into their own due to Carl Albert being on vocals and replacing Vinnie Moore with Mark McGee. So, after that, they get signed with the new label. Yes, they leave Shrapnel, and maybe that's due to Mike Varney pretty much turning his nose up to just balls-to-the-wall metal bands, and instead would rather have fucking shred-baster shit on his label. But they get signed with a major label, and that is Atlantic. So, and their first album gets released in February 1990. I thought I was doing 80s albums for when it comes to US power metal. Oh, fuck it. This is a good album. I have to. This is an album that it's... Recently, I was getting into Vicious Rumors, excuse me. I was going to say Ricious, which is... That's not even a fucking word. But Vicious Rumors, I was getting into recently in... After hearing a track off of this, I was like... even more surprised. For 1990, this of course I've heard actually people say that 1990 was the last of the 80s, because it was still ruled within that 80s sound by the time of 1990 or 91, or even as far as 92, who knows. But here, this is definitely a solid album. Of course, it was produced by Malcolm Rosen, who did like Testament, Souls of Black, Lost Rockets, Nothing Sacred, which I could have talked about, but that's more of a thrash metal album than a sort of a power thrash metal album that was like, you know, Annihilation Principle and Know Your Enemy. But he also worked with many other bands that just left them. Oh yeah, Forbidden, Twisted into Form. So Swallowed. Oh shit, Swallowed to Black or fuck by Sadus. But still, this is a good album. This is just a self-titled album by Vicious Rumors, and of course he gives them a really good sound, really good production. So it starts with Don't Wait For Me, which is definitely a really good track. World Church, another good track on here. On the Edge. Ship of Fools, another really good track. This is definitely, it's a little melodic, but it has a really good, I really like this track quite a bit. Can You Hear It? Down to the Temple. Hellraiser. We got Electric Tonight, which is an instrumental, but not a fucking track like Invader. So, if you see instrumental, you don't have to worry. It's not a fucking Eddie Van Halen ripoff track. You got Thrill of the Hunt, and of course it ends with Axe and Smash, which of course with a title like that, you'd think that this would be a theme song for a wrestling tag team. But, it's definitely another really good track, ends it on a really good note. This is definitely a really solid US power metal album. This is just solid. Carl Albert is just like the perfect fit for this band. Really, he just sets this band apart from then with Gary St. Pierre, because if they still kept that guy, they would have just been sounding more average and average with each release. And I know that also puts Vinnie Moore in that place, but Vinnie Moore is a good guitar player, don't get me wrong. I did like him a bit more with UFO than I actually did with Vicious Rumors. Give me shit for that, I don't care. But that's because here Vicious Rumors really was able to kind of really just turn themselves away from you know, some of the other bands. At times this kind of puts them next even like Metal Church, but yet they're not even like a Metal Church clone. Vicious Rumors got their own sound where they could stand tall next to Metal Church as probably one of the best US power metal bands of all time, next with you know, maybe even the best stuff by Sanctuary, which is of course like Refuge Denied, Hellstars. Like they can really, or like again, they really just fit nicely with them. They got their own sound, but yet they've got a sound that is definitely all their own. It's definitely original. Really solid album. I can't really say anything bad about the self-titled album, and I've had many chances to actually pick this album up physically. Every time I go and talk Raspberry Records down in Fresno, I always come by this album. That or even like Digital Dictator, and even the album after this, which was Welcome to the Ball. I had chances to pick those albums up, but I never could, but I always see them. So this is definitely a really good band that I wish I got into a bit earlier on, because this is a fucking good album. Anyone who says that by the 90s that things were still starting to suck, no. 1990 to 1992, or 93 at least, or 4, which stretches it, you still had some really good releases. You still had some really good, you still had some of that that good style of metal. To me, if I like, when it comes to 80s metal, it's like the US power metal stuff, along with some of the thrash and speed metal and so forth, tends to be my the more I go for, because it's not always fluffy. It's not fluffy shit. And this is power metal to me. What on here, even with some of the good stuff from even Europe, like Halloween and stuff, to me, this is power metal, not stuff like Dragon Force or fucking Nightwish, where everything that just, where it sounds like completely flower metal. Yeah, I don't know if we would call it metal, it's flower poof or whatever. It's just not really what I think of when it comes to power metal. This is a power metal album. After this, again, like I said, they released Welcome to the Ball, and they would release one more album in like 1994 until something would definitely hit them with a blow. Because in 1995, like May of 1995, Carl Albert would soon pass away, which definitely would leave the band at a bit of a not really at good standing. Of course, I know that they still kept going. They still had they have a different singer and such. I haven't really listened to those. Again, I'm just really starting to get into them because I wanted to talk about this band for U.S. Power Metal Month, and since there's a lot of people that really like Vicious Rumors, I wanted to give them a try, and it paid off. But I knew for the longest time that Carl Albert had passed away in 1995, which was the year I was born. So that's real nice. But still, this is such a great voice that really set Vicious Rumors apart from most U.S. power metal bands. And this is just definitely a solid album. If you have heard this album by Vicious Rumors, what are your thoughts? If you have any thoughts on this album, you can post your comments down below. So, it's time to talk about the next band. You're definitely going to like this one. So, this is Hippie Smasher saying I'm out. And I'll see you later.